So after two films, director Rob Zombie decided to tackle a classic in the knife-wielding, homicidal shape Michael Myers in Halloween. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my Rob Zombie film series review. Thank you so much, guys, for clicking this. I really do appreciate it. We're well on our way up to the Monsters film, which should be out by the end of September. And if you have not clicked yet, if you have not watched them yet, I've already done my House of a Thousand Corpses review and Devil's Rejects review. So click on down the description below, watch those, and come back. So Halloween tells the story of an escaped mental patient who terrorizes the small town of Haddonfield trying to get to his baby sister. First of all, I love the original film. Actually, the original films in general. It's the second horror franchise I actually got into following Scream. When I heard Rob Zombie was tackling this back in 2007, I was interested to see his vision, his take on it. I was interested to see his direction and just the things that he would do for this particular character of Michael Myers. What vision he may entail. Now, I'm somebody that's always been lenient, that's always been forgiving. And I know this movie gets a lot of hate, and I understand that, but the amount of hate it gets, I don't understand. Like, if it was a small amount, I'll understand, but the large amount, I never quite got that. So I reviewed both Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2 way back when I started this channel, back when I was figuring out what the hell I was going to do. I've reviewed every single one of them, including these two. But for this film series review, I figured I'd re-review them. And as for a Halloween film series review, updated version of that in preparation for Halloween Ends, not quite sure if I'm going to get there. But if I do, I will not include these two because I'm doing them now. And I just feel like that'd be redundant. But I might redo a Halloween film series review. I might not. That's up in the air. Now that I say a lot, I talk a lot more. A lot of y'all glean that. We'll just see what happens. But like I said, if yes, I won't include these two. But off topic here, I'm sorry. So starting off with the positives for Rob Zombie's Halloween. I do admit there was some cool, creepy things in this. I like the way that they handled Michael Myers, and with the shots of him looking in from the window, it did bring back a lot of that nostalgia that I had with that original film. You see a lot of shots with him in the shadows when a couple having sex or whatever, right before he kills somebody, and you're like, oh, there he is. You about to die. You about to die. Like I said, it would show a lot of shots of him looking in from a window as Laurie Strode would be looking out. So it showed a lot of that nostalgia. It showed a lot of that throwback to that original film, and I really did appreciate that. Just that sense of respect to the original. Was it perfect? No. But it's good enough. It is good enough for me. And speaking of Michael Myers himself, Tyler Mane, who plays the titular character in this, he was awesome. I would have to compare him to the dude who played Leatherface in the TCM remakes. The ones I said, if you've been following my channel, the ones I said that I liked the most out of that series, I would compare Tyler Mane's Michael Myers to that Leatherface. He was awesome. He showed such viciousness. He showed such brutalness. And we haven't even got to Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 yet, so you hadn't seen nothing yet. We're talking about this one now. But he was pretty vicious in this. And I thought it was a perfect casting choice for Michael Myers. He's like 7 foot something. And there was a scene where right after he killed somebody, he had to duck to get in this person's house. That's how tall he was. And the door was just an average door. He literally had to duck. That's how serious I've always deemed this actor. And he was probably like 300 pounds of pure muscle too. Just the way he was built. Again, it goes back to what I said about the guy that played Leatherface in those Texas Chainsaw Massacre remakes that I liked so much. Them two are neck and neck. If I was to do a ranking or a versus video of the Leatherfaces and the Michaels going hand to hand, those would be a tie. But he was really cool in this. I really did respect the guy that played him in this, Tyler Mane. He was awesome. By the way, speaking of the clip you just seen, awesome kill. That made me jump the first 10 or 11 times I watched this after it came out, especially on physical media. Had the TV turned up, and it'd just be all quiet, and BAM! Oh shit, there he is! Wow, I almost jumped out of my skin. And I made the jump scares really good, especially that one. There's another thing I've got to get this movie props for. And to add on to Michael Myers, his mask looked freaking awesome. It added to the viciousness of this character, of what Rob Zombie brought to this character. The way the mask looks decayed after being in that house for decades and for years, it just added on to that terror, that sense of, damn. I thought that was a really nice touch. It was a really awesome touch that they gave to the mask. And the tone was dead on. For what Rob Zombie was trying to do, had done with this version of the series, I do respect it. It was a lot dark toned. It was very gritty. At this point of his career, this is third movie in, I expect nothing less. You just come to expect certain things by this time. Which, of course, leads to the look and feel of this film, which was great. You get that great Halloween feel, the autumn, fall time of year with the brown leaves on the floor, and just the all-out darkness of this franchise, of this universe. And the pumpkins and all around autumn look was spot on. He pretty much mastered that in this film. Not to mention the cameos. You get some cool cameos. And after I mention this, you will already figure out by this point that Rob Zombie has pretty much found his film family, Hollywood family. I don't know, I'm kind of lost on the term for that. But you get Bill Moseley, who was Otis in his previous two movies. You get Tom Towles, who's the guy that was shot in House of a Thousand Corpses, and who William Forsythe's character was getting revenge for in The Devil's Rejects. Also, you get William Forsythe as the stepdad, this real jerk-like character that you kind of understand why Michael Myers ended up the way he did. You get Danny Trejo, who was one of the bounty hunters that hunted the Firefly family in Rejects. You even get the great Sid Haig in a small part in this. It's like I said, Rob Zombie's pretty much found his family in film. You'll hear about that as well throughout this film series review, but he's pretty much has set a certain amount of people, a set of people that you'll see a lot in this film series. Speaking of characters, you get Laurie Strode, played by Scout Taylor-Compton. She was pretty good in this. Was she as good as Jamie Lee Curtis? No, she wasn't as graceful. She wasn't as impactful. But for this universe, for what Rob Zombie was trying to tell, she was good enough. For this remake and the time of its release, she was good. She was good as the final girl. She was good as Laurie Strode. Again, not as good as Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, she's the original Scream Queen. We all know that. But Scout Taylor-Compton did good for the most part in Halloween 2007. I didn't have a problem with her. And you get Danielle Harris as Annie Brackett. And we all know in the horror community she is no stranger to this series as well as other horror franchises. But she plays Annie Brackett, and I think she was pretty cool. It's funny, I gotta mention the scene after she was attacked. She's bare-ass naked, and Michael starts dragging her on the floor, and something about that just makes me laugh. I don't know what it is, but when Michael is dragging her on the floor, the way she screams, the way she hollers, I don't know, just something a little off about that, but in a good way. It just made me chuckle a little bit. That's all. I just felt like I had to bring that up. I think a few people back in '07 when I watched this in the theater, I think a few people actually chuckled too, so I wasn't the only one. Again, she was great. And you get Chucky, I mean Brad Dourif as the sheriff, Annie's father. I love seeing that guy in anything he does. I mean, he mostly does voice work, especially for Chucky, but he was pretty cool in this. I always love seeing that guy around whenever I do see him. And not to mention Sheri Moon Zombie. She has improved massively since House of a Thousand Corpses. She was great as Michael Myers' mother in this. We get some pretty decent kills, like the scene that I mentioned earlier. And there's a truck driver kill scene, which was pretty cool, where he gets slammed up against the bathroom stalls at that gas station. That was pretty neat. They did feel a little grounded. Again, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Haven't seen nothing yet. We'll talk about that later. But they did feel a little grounded. I did enjoy the first kill when Michael was still a child of this bully that was bullying him. He kind of had it coming anyway. That was pretty cool. With the camera shots panning around as every time he would hit him with that branch or brick, whatever he had. And going back to that whole nostalgia thing, where you have the scene where the boyfriend is dressed up like a ghost. He has that sheet over him. And then you see Michael, he grabs him by the throat and he tacks him with that knife on the wall. I mean, it was a different setting. The original took place in the kitchen. This one takes place in the hall. I really did appreciate that. Rob Zombie nailed that, and that was a pretty cool kill scene. Then you get a few kills at the beginning, which was pretty impressive, like William Forsythe's throat getting slit, and the boyfriend coming down the stairs, Michael's sister's boyfriend, and getting plummeted by that baseball bat. That was pretty cool. There was a decent amount of gore, but again, you haven't seen nothing yet. Again, we'll talk about that later in the next film. As great as I like this take, as great as I like Rob Zombie's take on this character, it's still not without its downfalls. So let's slide into the mixed, which is Michael's backstory. And now look, guys, I have watched this so many times. It's been 15 years since this had come out. So 15 years later and about 1,000 watches, I'll just put it to you this way. If I would have reviewed this movie back when it was still fresh, you wouldn't be able to convince me otherwise. I would have praised this through and through, up and down, left and right. You would have been able to convince me otherwise. This would have been like the top on the top of my list. But again, time has passed, and the more I watched this, the more I thought about it, I just didn't really think it was that necessary to give Michael a backstory. Like the whole scene with him in the mental hospital and Dr. Loomis talking about how black isn't a color, it's the absence of color. It's just like, what the hell is that about? It's just little things like that. I just didn't really feel like it was necessary. It took away the mystery of Michael Myers. Since the 70s, when Michael Myers was born in cinema, we never get a backstory on why he turned out the way he did, but it worked because of that. The character, it worked because of that. But with this, it just took away that fear because of that. If you get what I'm saying. It just didn't really feel that necessary. But again, there were certain aspects of this, which is why this is in the mix, that I did like about it. Like the kills, like with him going batshit nuts. But again, it just took away the fear of that character. And I didn't really feel like that was necessary. But again, I digress. He's just a horror icon that is widely known for his mysteriousness. It just felt like it took a step backwards because of that. And Malcolm McDowell, who plays Dr. Loomis, I never quite warmed up to his portrayal as Dr. Loomis. Now granted, he wasn't bad in this. That's for the next film, spoiler alert. But he just didn't really fit Donald Pleasance. He was no Donald Pleasance, that's for sure. Like the scene where he says that line where he talks about meeting Michael 17 years ago. I was told there was nothing left, no reason, no conscience. I mean, you know the line. But whenever he said that, whenever Malcolm McDowell said that, nope. Just nope. Again, Donald Pleasance nailed that because he is the original. But when Malcolm McDowell did that, but again, the rest of it, when he played this character, especially the rescue scene at the end when he was trying to rescue Laurie from Michael, that was pretty decent. It showed strength in his character, and it showed what this character still had left, and it just showed that he can play it in his own way, which still worked. But it's just certain aspects, like when he said that famous line that Donald Pleasance said in the original, when he tried to quote that, just didn't work for me. Like I said, I don't hate him, but he's no Donald Pleasance. And here we go into the negatives. Again, with the dialogue. As I said before, Rob Zombie tends to do this a lot. As all of you know, he writes every single one of his movies that he directs. As a writer, not so much. As a director, he's fine. But with the dialogue, once again in this, just like in his previous two, he goes overboard. Like the scene in the bathroom where the bullies that was bullying Michael was talking about pumping his sister's stomach and this and that. Come on, dude. What the hell was the point of that? And the whole family scene right at the beginning where they were cussing at each other, and that probably lasted for like 5 minutes. And the whole bathroom scene, that probably lasted for like another 5 to 10 minutes. Probably over exaggerating, but again, what's the freaking point of those scenes? Enough. Enough. Enough! Just take a chill pill just a little bit, because it doesn't really help the movie that much. It's not what we came here for. We came here to see Michael Myers mess people up. That's it. So in the end, guys, this is a pretty decent remake. For casual Halloween fans, I can see a little bit of the hate. Not as much as it's already got, but I can see why some people will get infuriated by it. For Rob Zombie's third out, it wasn't bad. Just don't expect an improvement in dialogue, but expect a happy accident. So, Rob Zombie's Halloween, were you a fan? Was this your favorite take on the character? Or was this not for you? Did this disappoint you? Do you prefer the original Halloweens over this? Leave me a comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much once again, guys, for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, and share the big four. And be sure to hit that bell icon so you don't miss a thing. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.